Ahoy there. I've traveled all the seven seas, and I keep hearing about a mythological human being called Indy Sondh. I doubted all these stories, so I had to go out and find those information myself. Please stick with me as I narrate all my different findings as I've navigated the shores of Louisiana, the mountains of Pittsburgh, the flatness of Minnesota, to collect the stories of the man, the myth, the legend, Indy Sondh. The first documented findings of this mythological man was out in Pittsburgh.
Indy was one of the first people I met in Pittsburgh in 2012. Little did I know he's the funniest guy, a demigod at Ultimate Frisbee. And he helped me pass our intermediate Java class with the ultimate CS master, Turbo Master, Tim Hoffman.
The first thing I remember about you, I can always say this, I knew you was gonna go on to great things when you put me onto Battle Royale and we ate all that pizza and then proceeded to study for the next 3 days. Been shooting in the gym. You was definitely doing better.
After a quick pit stop in Pittsburgh, I decided to continue into Minnesota, where I had heard that Indy had cemented his mark amongst that community.
You want to know about Indy? It's a majestic eagle of golden science knowledge.
So what's it like to know Indy? So, I had the privilege of being friends with him and even his roommate over grad school, and I learned a lot of things about him. As a man of many talents, he is a world-class Super Smash Bros. Player, particularly the Melee variety, of course. The man's an aspiring grandmaster in chess, a wizard with a ping pong paddle. He's even pretty decent at board games. Has a great taste in music, particularly of the Gary Jules variety, and he's just a man living in this mad world with integrity.
And I'll never forget that day. I was walking to work, and I was carrying my backpack and my lunchbox, and out of nowhere, these 10 thieves surround me, and they start yelling at me, "Give me the lunchbox, man. Give me your lunchbox right now. We know you got the cheese and crackers. We know you got that French cheese, expensive cheese." Out of nowhere, I see Indy running towards us, graceful as a gazelle, and he drew his ping pong blade and just smacked all of them with just his signature jumping backhand smash. Defeated them all and saved the day, basically. You know, we were able to take a break at work, eat the cheese and crackers.
Hi. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about the first time we connected, the first time we genuinely had a connection. A bar in Minneapolis with some ping pong tables. We ended up leaving the bar with Gerardo and walking around Minneapolis, walking across Stone Arch Bridge. And I told the two of you about a poem I wrote back in high school about a bar stool. I think that was when we all decided we were going to be friends. And this trio of ours that was born out of ping pong and poetry, it was probably that first night that we really genuinely connected. And I will never forget that night. I think you are one of the most genuinely cool people, funny people that I've ever met. You always manage to put a smile on my face and the faces of everyone around you. I think you do a really good job of listening and making someone feel heard, unlike Gerardo. I know that I wouldn't have gotten through grad school without you, so I just want to say thank you.
You ask of Indy. Do I know him? You mean the magnanimous, wonderful, ever thinking, ever never blinking. Oh, of his deeds I've only heard. He can heal the hungry. He feeds the blind. He say, oh, he's so wonderful. I cannot end. Oh, it's just beyond me. You ask if I've seen him. Never would I would ever say that I have seen him. Even if I had, his brilliance would be beyond me. That I would ever deign to lay my eyes upon such a wonderful being such as he. That's the wonder would be blinding as it's the light I am experiencing right now.
You can only describe Indy by the acts themselves, whether it's the folds, origami, whether it's being in the middle of the beast in a Republican rally because you want to see some puppets, whether it's biking out into the boondocks of Minnetonka with a flat tire. He's not a man rather than a concept. He embodies the idea of an atom experiencing the loss of physics itself.
Once in Minnesota, some deep dark secrets about Indy came out. A few brave souls were willing to come forward to expose the truth of Indy.
We had just finished game night. It was Catan. He'd won, obviously. He was pretty smug about it, really, really smug, and he was in his full trench coat, cigarette, stupid little hat thing. He was mid-standoff with 3 guys, and they were trying to steal that new professor's laptop, I think. Anyway, he just took him down like it was nothing, and I think that's when I knew that he was a Peaky Blinder. You know, now he's defending his PhD, and I think it's time that the world knew what I know. Completing his thesis, finishing his PhD, and keeping us all safe the whole time as a Peaky Blinder. I think that's who funded his research.
Indy? Yeah, he's a cool guy. I mean, he's fun to talk to, play games with. He's creative. Good memories going on bike rides with him, but he had this weird thing where he always insisted that I ride in front of him. I don't know what that was about.
Okay. My journey continued on and led me to meet some quite unsavory characters and outlaws. These men decided to talk to me about Indy because they needed the truth of him to be left out.
You ask what he's like. You think time is a straight line. It's not. It's a flat circle. Everything we've ever done or gonna do over and over again. Men like Indy, we spent time under the iron, the gym. You learn about a man in there. It's a laboratory of futility. You push against gravity, and gravity always wins. I'd watch him. He wasn't just lifting. He was deconstructing the act itself. He questions the foundation of things. He doesn't accept the premise, ever. That Louisiana soil, it gets in you. You talk about the French Foreign Legion, La Légion étrangère, the idea that you could just walk in, give up your name, and be handed a new, pure kind of suffering. He respected that. The sheer will it takes to dissolve the self and choose a struggle. That's why I'd call him a friend. It's not about pleasantries. It's about recognition. You see another guy who understands the cosmic joke, and you just nod. This PhD everyone's celebrating, for him, it's not an answer. It's just a more elegant formulation of the question. And he'll carry that question with him, round and round.
So you want to know what happened between Indy and those b-ballers? What happened in 25 was like a faded memory of a Louisiana summer's day. Now, Indy, Steve, and I went to play basketball. We had just gone to the small courts and started shooting when 3 shy, timid third graders showed up but didn't join in. Now, Indy, being the better man than Steve and I, kindly invited him to a 3v3. That's when he uses absolute, superior, divine height advantage to teach him to stay in school. Now, a friend named Zephyr once told me that time is a flat circle, that everything you've ever done and gonna do, that those kids there were stuck being dunked on by Indy over and over and over again. Those kids think of Indy as the aluminum mash of the psychosphere.
Hello, world. Apologies for the secrecy, but I'm on the run and I finance every day by selling Indy's artwork as NFTs on the blockchain. Link in the bio in case you want to donate. This might be my last time talking to you all, so I wanted to tell the truth finally about how Indy has saved my life. Several years ago, Indy and I ventured deep into the bayou in Baton Rouge. I leaned over to smell the clean, fresh water, and an alligator jumped out of the water and tried to bite me right in the jugular. And you reached out, grabbed the creature right on its snout, and pulled it close to his mouth, and whispered in its ear an ancient Creole prayer that could only be understood by the most primordial creatures. The alligator backflipped and summoned a legendary nutria that guided us and kept us safe along our journey. Excuse me. Sometime later, Indy and I were living on the side of a volcano in Hawaii, and we went for a hike. I'm very cheap, and I wanted to bring a souvenir back to my family, so I reached down and picked up a lava rock that had dried recently. Indy slapped the rock out of my hand so hard that I can still feel the sting. And he told me if I brought that rock home, I would be bringing the curse of Pele upon my family for generations. Later that day, we met a man named Gary who brought a rock home and his house burned down. Most recently, Indy and I met in a pool hall in Germany where he saved my life yet again, this time from a kidnapping. We met a wild French German man who challenged us to a game of billiards. I knew if we lost that game, we would probably end up in a bunker eating schnitzel and croissant for the next 5 years. But Indy, with his divine understanding of geometry and three strokes of the pool cue, put in every last solid, concluding with the eight ball. And we never saw that French German ever again. ¿Tienes italiano? Spagnolo? No me mata, no me mata. Soy un niño. No sabía nada sobre la caja. Guys, I've been compromised. Indy, if you see this, send more paintings. I'll find them on the blockchain. Godspeed.
As a final task to truly capture all of Indy and the impact he had in humanity, I decided to interview some of these individuals live on camera.
Yeah, I can't really remember the first time I met Indy, but I remember around the time he joined grad school, there's just like a different vibe on the sixth floor, something a little mysterious, definitely intriguing. Yeah, Indy had this sort of like stoic, calm, confident energy. Very just like, I've got this under control. Definitely stood out among all the other students and scientists around as like, he knows what he's doing. Yeah, so something I learned being Indy's friend is that guinea pigs have different noises that they make, and the more they're familiar with you, the more that the different sounds that they make. And of all my friends who worked with guinea pigs, Indy's definitely heard the most sounds. A man of the people and a man of the guinea pigs. Yeah, Indy's just like a man who's like got the moves. But not only that, like he's great on the dance floor, but he definitely like reads the room and can tell when people need a confidence boost. He knows when and where to be a hype man, and he just wants to make sure that like everyone is their best self, showing their best self. And he brings that out in everyone that he interacts with.
Indy likes to say something to people, and it's very kind and generous, and everybody likes to hear it. And he says, "You've got really great energy." And the only time anybody's ever said that to me is if they wanted to sleep with me and my husband. But that's not Indy. He doesn't want a threesome. He just wants to be your friend. Indy can do more with one ping pong paddle than most men can do with their whole bodies. And he felt so sorry and so generous in our household at our own ping pong table that he gifted our family this excellent ping pong paddle. It's one of our most cherished items. He was riding his bike, as both of us like to do, and there's really no way to experience the city other than riding your bike through the small streets and trails, because you don't learn the soul of a city through the interstates. You learn it through a bike. And one thing that really stuck with him, and it stuck with me when he told me about it, was when he rode by the FedEx Center, and there were so many FedEx trucks, and he really understood the depth and intensity of capitalism. Andy's a gentle soul. He's got the heart of a lover, but he's not afraid to throw down when somebody's really needs to be put in his place. And I really can't think of a better example than when Caleb beat him in ping pong one time at Mackenzie's bar, and I was walking across the street trying to go home, and I looked back, and Indy had Caleb on the ground, full throttle.
Where to begin? Actually, let me look. There's actually a couple reasons listed. His musk, and also his light that comes off of him, and his love for ping pong. Well, it was extra tough because he beat me with this pen, and that's why I do hold on to this as a reminder and just trying to better myself. And I think that's one of the good reasons that Indy's a good friend. Of always has me striving for more, and I think that's important in a friendship. It's really strong. We vibe a lot on musical taste. I respond to a lot of his Instagrams when he posts music that's quote unquote obscure, but I understand it. And actually, the first album we listened to together in this room was Tame Impala, right back there. Can we cut? No, it was just one person that was, and he did step up and really defended my honor. It was a 14-year-old girl at her first NBA game. It gives me confidence in our friendship, knowing that he's going to be there to attack me or attack them, and defend my honor, even from the worst of them.
Yeah.
I mean, she was ruthless. She was sitting right next to me and continued throughout the game, and he was there. He laughed a few times, but he kind of muffled them a little bit, but it meant a lot. Oh, it's great. He's a fantastic player. He does some crazy stuff. His serve, he does this thing when he'll throw the ball up and just hit it with one finger. It's like, how does that even work? But it goes over every time. It's been stronger. Weaker, but stronger.
Well, there you have it, kids. These are all the true exploits of Indy Sondh. And remember, No man is greater than that man. A man amongst men. A man that rides a bike the way that a knight rides a horse into battle.
Yo, listen. Indy's the man. He's got a plan. He's going to Germany. He's gonna get that currency. Human trial, there will be no denial. New technology, that's his pathology. He's innovating. He's stimulating. Shank or Ray, it doesn't matter today because tomorrow the sky's the limit. Your attention, he will get it. But there's one thing he can't admit it. Hubert won't let him quit it.